Okay, perfect. Perfect. All right. Well, welcome everybody. We're really excited to have you and to kick off this fall semester. My name is Forrest Lane. I serve as the Dean of Research and Graduate Studies here. This is my third year here at SFA, so not new, but newer to this campus. And it's been a real pleasure really being here and being a part of this campus and being part of the programs and everything that we offer here. It really is a great place. I know that all of you come from some different spaces, but before I get started, it's helpful for me to know how many of you are returning SFA students. You were here as an undergraduate at some point, completed undergraduate degree. So there's a couple of hands, okay? And then there's some others. I assume the rest of you, either you were shy and didn't want to raise your hand, or you're coming from someplace else. So if you're coming from SFA, you've been here before, welcome back. We're glad to have you. I assume and hope that you're back here because you had a good experience as an undergraduate student, and we're glad that you're back. We really are. We're glad to support you in that way. For those of you who SFA is new and you haven't been here before, and this is a new experience, it's a good campus. It's a good place. You made a good choice. I really believe that genuinely. The faculty here, I think, are incredibly supportive of students. It's a fun campus. I don't know if you're familiar with Nacogdoches or not, or rural East Texas or not, but it really is a great community, and we're excited to have you and welcome you here. So I'll tell you just a little bit briefly about me and then share a few other things, and then we'll get kind of started with the whole orientation. I do want to acknowledge, I said earlier, we do have a lot of participants online. I'm not looking at the exact number, but we have quite a few. I think last time I looked, it was 30 something or so that were online. And so welcome to those people that are joining us virtually as well. So I, like you, went to grad school. It's getting further away from me now, but started there. I wanted to go back initially. So I didn't go straight through. I went out into business, did some other things before I made a decision to return to graduate school. Really was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I wish I could say that I had it all figured out right after undergrad, but I didn't know. Found myself in a career, and it was a good career. It didn't have a lot of purpose for me personally, and so I was kind of doing a lot of soul searching, trying to figure out what I wanted to do, what I want to be when I grow up. I'm still not sure I've really entirely figured that out, but decided that I wanted to go back and work on a college and university campus initially to go work in student affairs and support student programs and that kind of experience. That morphed over time. I'm not going to get into all the boring details of my life journey. But I finished my doctorate working in educational psychology. So for all of you who have ever taken like a test, like SAT and GRE and all those kinds of things, those are the kinds of things that people like me go to study and explore and figure out how that connects to student learning and all kinds of stuff. Won't bore you with all of that, except to say that it's been a journey for me, personally and professionally, and I love being on a college campus. I can't imagine doing something different at this time. And I hope I get to keep doing this for a long time. But it's also made me appreciate the value of what I think graduate education does. For me personally, I don't think I really found, like I said, that calling until I came in here, and the network and the people I was able to connect with. College, I think, especially at the graduate level, transforms you in so many different ways, and the things that you're going to do have such an impact on the people that you're going to serve. It's different. There's so many different programs that we have in here. Why you're coming back to school is very different for each of you. Some of you are coming back to practitioner-based programs, things like speech language pathology, or school psychology, or some of our advanced TEA programs, family nurse practitioner, counseling. We've got lots of those types of programs. So you're coming here to get that training so that you can go out there in that career field. We have big needs in this region and in this state. And so we're glad to be able to support you and to help you in that journey go into those places, because we need good people to do those jobs, to do those roles. And we've got some great clinical-based programs here, and glad to support you in that journey. For some of you, maybe you're going to be like me and never leave college and go be an academic somewhere. And this is step one in a long journey to going to some kind of terminal degree. Regardless of what it is, I think that the things you're doing at this point in your career and in your degree really do impact the people around you. They impact your families, they impact your communities, they impact the important work and needs that have to happen to be met in this area. And so we're glad, we really are glad to be able to serve you in that way. I want to acknowledge our staff. You're going to meet a lot of different staff as we go through today's orientation. They have spent a lot of work trying to pull together resources that we hope will help you be better prepared, because it's important to me personally that everyone have an opportunity to be onboarded in some way. I know that your programs, some of them, have additional orientations to help you maybe get oriented into the curriculum and other things that are going on in those programs. That's great. This is not to take away from that in any way. But we also understand that whether all of you have undergraduate degrees, you've been on a university campus, but maybe because you have, you're going to understand what I'm going to say here right now. Just because you've done it before doesn't mean that you know all of the administrative hoops and processes and people you need to talk to here or at this level in your program to get through successfully all of the steps to finish that degree. And so we want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to be onboarded. There are no silly questions. I probably mean that. Ask, because I guarantee you that if you're not sure and you have a question about something, somebody else in this room, somebody else online, whatever, has the same question. And so we're here to be able to support you, not just now, not just today, but throughout your time here at SFA. And so don't ever hesitate to reach out to us and call or shoot us an email or whatever it might be. I genuinely believe our staff are pretty welcoming, and we're not going to scare you off, I promise. Come up at any time and tell us what you're dealing with. I can't promise that we're the office that can help you with to fix or address every issue that you have. We might need to connect you with financial aid. We might need to connect you with the registrar's office or something else. But let us be the conduit to help you get there, because you may not know who you need to talk to, but we do. We've had those same questions. You're not going to tell us anything different that we haven't heard, and so let us help you be able to get to the right person, and we'll make sure that you get taken care of. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Am I missing anything before I start just rambling and things like that? I see we've got financial aid up there, so I want to make sure that we get her down here, because we usually get a lot of questions, and thank you for taking time on a very, very busy day to come out here and do that. But let me just say again, welcome. We really, really, really are glad to have you here. I hope that it is a positive experience for you. I hope that you are successful in the next year or two, or however long it is in your journey there. And I look forward to meeting and connecting with each of you and learning about all the great things you're doing, because we've had some students doing some pretty cool stuff out there. And so I hope that you will share your journey with us and all the exciting things that you do. So with that, I'm going to be quiet because I'm not really the most important person here, and we will bring in, are we going to go to financial aid?
I think we'll go straight to financial aid, yes,
okay.
And then we can introduce our people.
Okay. I want to be sensitive to your time, because I know you probably need to get back.
So we're good. We're gonna one thing at a time.
Okay. Perfect.
Yes, okay, so we have LaShanda Parkhurst with financial aid. I know that bills and everything have already been due, but maybe she can provide you some information that you didn't catch or weren't privy to. So she's here to answer any questions you might have as well.
Yeah. Yeah, you're good. Okay. Good afternoon and welcome to SFA. As she said, I'm LaShanda. I'm the Director of Financial Aid and Scholarships Office. So I'm just going to give you a brief synopsis here of how financial aid works at SFA. And if you have any questions, just stop me. As she mentioned, bills were due, and payments had to be made, or installment plan or something like that had to be set up. So if you have any questions or still have any issues, I'm happy to answer your questions. So, we do check your eligibility. You do have to be enrolled in at least 6 credit hours that are listed on your degree plan in order to get your financial aid to credit. Those courses do have to be on your degree plan or I can't pay for them. So, you have to be a US citizen or an eligible non-citizen, and you have to be degree seeking. So we can't give financial aid to transient students, and you can't be probationary. So if you've been admitted as a probationary graduate student for the semester, if that changes in the spring, then we can reevaluate your eligibility for financial aid. But federal regulations state probationary students aren't eligible for aid. So you do your FAFSA on studentaid.gov. If you have not done a FAFSA yet, that is okay. We will still package you an award package for this academic year. So you can still do a FAFSA and still be eligible for financial aid. So if you need help doing that, we are happy to walk you through the process. Or if you've tried doing it and something has glitched or we haven't received it yet, please let us know. We're happy to walk through and troubleshoot for you. It usually takes about a week, sometimes 2 weeks for us to get the FAFSA, and then we email you through your SFA account. That's our official means of correspondence with you is through your SFA. So we let you know if we need something else from you. So that we can get that documentation pretty quickly. It has to be resolved before we can give you a financial aid package. And that could be anything. That could be a high school diploma. So some of our students don't answer that question on the FAFSA. We need that information. You have to show that you graduated from high school. Males have to show that they've registered with selective service, things like that. So it could be any number of things, but it's all on your SFA account under the financial aid tab. Or we'll send you a notification that you have a financial aid package ready to review. So the cost of attendance that you see on the screen is an estimate. It is not necessarily, as you've seen your bill already, you know that's not what it costs to attend SFA. That's just an estimate of what it could potentially cost for the academic year. And of course, some of you may live on campus and have on-campus housing and a meal plan. So the majority of you may not, though. So that could impact your overall cost of attendance. But that means that that's the maximum in financial aid that I can give you for the academic year. Your actual cost is the billable cost over here, the $96.34. So just kind of keep that in mind. Most of you, though, should have seen your bill by now. You'll know that that's what your actual bill is. So for our graduate students, we offer, we have some grants. Unfortunately, we're limited in grant funding. So they're typically not large grants. They're small, unfortunately. Some of you may be working on campus. Our graduate students are eligible for work study as long as you have eligibility based on your FAFSA. Some of you may have graduate assistantships and things like that. So you can't do both. So you're going to do your grad assistant position and be paid that way instead of work study. But if you have questions about that, please let me know. For new graduate students, they've done away with, the federal government has done away with Graduate Plus Loan Program. That is no longer a thing. So if anybody's tried to apply for a Graduate Plus Loan and you're a brand new student starting this year at SFA, they've done away with that program, unfortunately. So we offer unsubsidized loans, though. You can still have that. And then our scholarship application for the next academic year will actually open on October 1st. That is through your SFA account. The deadline for that's February 1st. We don't take applications after February 1, so make sure that you get that done. There are some scholarships for graduate students, so I do recommend that you do apply. So I get asked this question a lot about graduate students. Full-time enrollment for a grad student is 9 credit hours, okay? If your 6 to 8 hours are considered half-time, if you fall below 6 credit hours, then you're considered less than half-time, and financial aid will not credit your bill for less than half-time enrollment. So we do check course program of study. Some of you may have gotten an email notification or a bright red banner that says that on your My SFA account that says that you have a course that's not counting in your program of study. Financial aid has to monitor that, but we can't fix the situation. You have to get with your academic advisor and then potentially the registrar's office. They actually help make sure that your courses are on your degree plan and going towards your graduation. Those classes aren't getting you to graduation. The federal regulations state that financial aid can't pay for those. So if you have gotten an email notification about that, you need to speak with your advisor and or the registrar's office to get that fixed so that your financial aid will credit. We also have to monitor satisfactory academic progress. We do that at the end of every semester here at SFA. So in December, we'll monitor it for the fall. In May, we'll monitor for spring. And in August, we monitor for summer. Our graduate students have to have a minimum GPA of a 3.0. You have to earn 67% of all the hours that you attempt. And most of the programs that you're in are 36 hours. And if you do 150% of that time frame, the maximum time we allow for you to finish that program is 54 credit hours. Some of your programs have a different length of time. So we have programmed for that to allow for those differences. So we do monitor that. So you'll get notification at the end of every semester if you're not meeting that policy. Here's our contact information. We are open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. We can set up an office appointment if you have questions. We can do Zoom. We take walk-ins, of course. And so if anybody has any questions or needs to talk to us, yes.
Do you know if those of us who haven't even received a aid award package yet due to the One Big Beautiful Bill, do you know if the government has reached back out yet about that?
So I've checked it. It's quite a bit of loan limits for those already. So I'm still checking loan limits. What I don't know if y'all heard the question about loan limits for students. The loan limit changes were effective July 1st. So if you borrowed prior to that, you had a certain loan limit of $138,500 match you could get for graduate loans. After that, you're down to $100,000. So if you're a brand new graduate student starting now and you just got your very first unsubsidized loan that just credited for this fall bill, you fall under the $100,000 aggregate lifetime loan limit for a graduate student. So we are doing loan limit reviews in our office. So if you've not received an aid package yet, then you can email that FinAid, and if you'll put LaShanda in the title, loan limit, put your name and ID, grad student, I will get that and I will check that for you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Any other questions? Okay. Well, I'm in the Austin building 104. So if y'all do have questions that you want to ask, we're open until 5 today. And then I have triple booked myself, as you heard, as I came downstairs. So I will not be there for the next couple of hours, but there are staff over there happy to answer any questions, or if you have any issues, want to do the FAFSA, all the things, feel free to go over there, and then if you need anything, just send an email to us, okay? Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, our next presenter was Student Business Services. They could not be here today. So here is their slide with their information. If you have anything that you need to contact them about, they are super helpful. They respond almost immediately if you ever need assistance with anything. Again, Student Business Services, they work with billing, dates and deadlines. They have an estimation calculator, outside scholarship processing, anything you need help with. Their contact information and their location is over here. You can also scan the QR code to access their website. All right. I need to go back. Okay, we'll go ahead and introduce our staff. This is the Graduate Studies Director. She is actually joining us by Zoom today, so she's in the meeting. She's just not down here with us. She oversees graduate studies programming. She assists graduate studies faculty and coordinators. So if you ever need her, she is up on the 4th floor with all of us. And then I'll go ahead and give it to Megan.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you. Yes, okay. Perfect. All right, so my name is Megan Morton. I am the communications coordinator for research and graduate studies. That tells a little bit about what I do, but one of the most important things that I'm going to share with you today, in my opinion, is our social media. So if you would like, please take out your phone, scan this QR code, and it will send you to a link tree with all of our social media links and any other useful links that you might need. With that being said, I am one of the people in our office who tells y'all's stories. Why is that important? It's because you're what we're about. You're why we're here. So there's a couple of people I actually recognize in here just because of social media. I see Barbie back there. Yes, I've interacted with you on our LinkedIn at some point. And then I see Kay. I've known Kay for years, but also on social media as well. So like I said, there's a couple of people that I recognize in here, and then there's a couple of people, well, actually all of y'all, that I need to get to know more. So if you're ever going out of the country for study abroad, or if you're working on a really cool research project and you're thinking, man, people besides me and my faculty advisor need to know about this. I can help tell your story. That's what we need people to know. We need people to know about y'all because, like I said, y'all are what makes up our story. Also, something else that I would like to talk about is our graduate student ambassador team. This is a brand new ambassador team that we're forming. Unfortunately, right now, y'all can apply for that, but the reason why I'm telling you this now is because y'all will have the opportunity to apply for the ambassador team later in the semester. What is the graduate student ambassador team? The ambassador team is a team of graduate students who will be starring in social media content. Y'all will have opportunity for scholarship. Y'all will be able to help recruit other students and have opportunities for travel, and of course, have an opportunity to get really cool, exclusive GSAT swag. So, maybe a cool polo, stuff like that. Very official. We love it. Then some requirements of that you're going to have to achieve is maintain a 3.0 GPA. And something that you can work on this semester is being in contact with your professors within your program. Something that you'll need when you apply is a letter of recommendation from a faculty in your program. And you also need to be in your program for 1 semester, hence the reason why y'all can't apply right now. But like I said, letting y'all know. But I think that's basically it. Did I get everything? Perfect. Well, like I said, my name is Megan. If you ever have a quick story you need to share, come by my office. I'm on the 4th floor of this building, or send me a DM on our social media. Thank y'all.
right, we're gonna introduce the rest of our staff. Do you want to come down or no? Okay. All right, we will start with our graduate admissions coordinator, Miss Francis. If you went through the application process recently, you might have interacted with Francis. She does all of our application intake, processing, any issues you might have with your application, she would be the one to correct them. She is relatively new. She joined us in March, along with Megan, actually. They're both relatively new. So we are very thankful to have them both. But if you ever have anything with your admissions stuff that needs help, just reach out to Francis. Her contact information is on the screen.
I'm here. Here. Welcome, everybody.
All right, and our newest member of our team is Miss Kylie Strickland. She is the graduate academic advisor for the colleges listed on the screen. So she's going to be servicing the College of Health Professions, College of Science and Math, and the College of Forestry and Agriculture. If you are in those colleges, she will be your contact for anything throughout your entire career as a student, from course substitutions. Like LaShanda said, if you have a CPOS issue on your record, Kylie can help you with that. She will also be helping with the thesis and dissertation process. So if you're going to be a thesis student, Kylie will be your contact for all things in that process, from your proposal to your defense, to submitting your thesis, anything like that. She is also on the floor with us, and her contact information is on the screen as well. And she's standing up there at the top. All right. And then I am Mackenzie. I am the graduate program coordinator for graduate studies. I coordinate professional development, events, orientations, the 3MT competition, which I'll talk about a little more in a second. We will have wellness webinars this semester, and we'll hear from nutritionists, financial advisors, all kinds of things. I can also provide support, troubleshoot. I have been in the admissions role and the advising role, so I know a little bit about a lot of things. So if you ever need help, I'm always available. I'm also on the 4th floor, and my contact information is there as well. Okay, so what does our office do? What does graduate studies offer? So our biggest thing this semester that we are launching is a tool called Yosemite. It is an AI-powered academic writing platform that guides you through the process of academic writing and reading. It's not a tool that will write for you. It will actually teach you along the way. There are modules you can complete. It's kind of like a course or like a class that you would take to teach you how to write. We will have, oh, and I forgot to mention, in your packet when you came in, you have the agenda for today and a date sheet. In that date sheet, we have all of the important dates for Yosemite, professional development, any events that we're hosting. So we will have a Yosemite intro course on September 15th, I believe. So if you want to join that and learn a little bit more about the tool, we'll be hearing directly from the creator of Yosemite, and she'll walk you through all of its features. You will receive email communications about that and a request to register for the meeting. So be on the lookout for that. We also do professional development through Beyond Graduate School. This is an online platform. They host webinars. They have all kinds of materials that walk you through how to create maybe a CV, how to make connections, how to prepare for the job force after graduate school, how to find a job. And they have a repository, so you can always refer back to the webinars if you miss them, but they also keep all of their materials in Beyond Graduate School as well. When we do have webinars, Megan will send out emails with that information. It also lives on our website, so you can always refer back to it. Next, every semester, we will have a graduate student night at either a football or a basketball game, depending on the season, obviously. This year, we will have graduate student night on September 26th, which is family weekend. On your date sheet, you can see we are also going to be tailgating, so feel free to stop by, grab some swag. We'll probably have some snacks. Typically, we're in the parking lot beside Steen, so come say hi if you're around. Our 3MT competition. So 3MT competition is a competition that was created in, I believe, Australia. It encourages students to practice public speaking. So what it really is you take your research, you condense it down into a 3-minute presentation, and then you compete and present your presentation against other students. You get one static presentation slide, and that's it. We will actually, at the end of this orientation, hear from last year's 3MT winner. She's wonderful. She'll have all kinds of good information for you. So you'll get a little bit more behind the scenes from that. Wellness webinars. We will have wellness webinars on Wednesdays. I don't know if it's the second or third Wednesday. It should be on your date sheet as well, but we will send out more information as those come up as well. Again, we'll hear from mental health advocates, nutritionists, financial advisors, all kinds of things. And then the last thing I had was graduate student ambassadors, but Megan already covered that. So, all right, any questions about any of that? I know it's a lot, but we will send out communications as things come up. All right. Let me skip through financial aid again. Okay, we have a test your knowledge. So Megan is going to come up for a trivia question. So we will have two winners. We'll have one online and one in person. So for the online people, whoever answers the question in the chat first will get a prize. And do you want to shout it out or raise their hand?
Raise your hand.
Okay. Raise your hand, you will get a prize.
Please don't yell at me. I'll cry. So first of all, we want to show off what you'll win. Let's get some commotion for the front of the shirt. Now we'll get some commotion for the back of the shirt. Here. Okay. So this will be what you win, and then we'll get with you, ask your size, all that jazz. But here comes the fun part. Let's see if I can
Get the shirt for the online.
Oh yeah.
Since
We got a
camera
little
on
online
me over
too.
here. Okay, here's the shirt. Nice. There's the front.
Like a real influence.
Yeah.
Okay, so
All right, are we
I'll
ready?
read it out loud. Get my reading skills going. Okay, let's go. True or false? Graduate students shouldn't complete the FAFSA. Who did it?
I saw the girl with black hair right here.
Okay. False.
False.
Yay!
Yay!
I'll give you a second.
We'll get you and get your shirt size. Kylie will get with the winner in the chat and get their shirt size as well. No, I
Okay,
said
good.
All right. Now we are going to welcome our friend Jonathan Helmke from the library, and he's going to do an interactive presentation of the library's website and resources.
Okay, thank you, Mackenzie. My name is Jonathan Helmke. I am the director at Ralph District Library. Welcome to SFA. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a couple things as you get started with your program, courses, and how we support all the way through your program. You know, we support introductory classes, we support kind of middle classes, but also we support if you're writing a thesis or a dissertation. So we support all those levels, but also we have help you with in terms of space and our resources. So I just want to show a couple of things here from the library's webpage. Our webpage here is www.sfasu.edu/library. Pretty easy to remember, okay? If you Google SFASU library, you'll get to our page too. So when you get to our page, I want to show you three things today that will help you get started. And as you go through the program, then we'll introduce different things as we work with classes and work with your faculty. And also as you work through the process, you can help with that. The first thing I want to show here on our website here is normally this is a mobile view. Typically you would have a menu going across here, okay? And so our menu here is, I want to show you two things. The first thing under our menu here, do you see the library hours there? Okay, library hours, okay? That's important. So if you need to find a place to study, let's say you love your family, you love your significant others, but you need to get out of the house, or you need to get out and actually find a physical place to do your work. We have a lot of our graduate students that actually come to the library and they use one of our study rooms. They use the kind of open spaces we have on the fourth floor. That's the quiet floor. And a lot of times they'll camp out for the weekend. They say, okay, I'm going to do this on a Saturday afternoon from this time to this time, or I need to get away from my family to complete an assignment, okay? So we do have plenty of space for everyone, okay? So if you need a quiet floor, if you need to work as a group, maybe doing some group projects, and you want to meet face-to-face versus virtual, We do have spaces for different types of things that you need to do. Also, we have computers in the library. If you don't want to bring your laptop, you just want to work in the computer lab, just working away, we do have different types of technology in the library. So typically, now we're in our orientation hours here, thanks there. I'll go to the next week here. We start our hours next week, okay? We start our regular hours. So if you notice, we're open 24 hours Sunday through Thursday. We keep our first floor open 24 hours. That's where we have study spaces. We have the computer labs are open 24 hours. So if you need something at 3 o'clock in the morning and you want to, or come at 5 a.m. before you go to work and you need to do something, we do have space for that. The upper floors close at midnight. We open at 7:30 to midnight. Fridays, we do have limited hours. Typically, that's where we can have a drop off in terms of people on campus and different events happening. And then on Saturday, we keep the first floor open, okay, on Saturday. Our busiest time typically is Sunday through Thursday. I've noticed that pattern. But for graduate students, I know it really depends on your schedule and what you're doing with work and with other things that you need to do. So that's why we keep the floors open during the 24-hour time and the first floor for that too. So I just want to show you the library hours there just to kind of demonstrate that you can have the time that you need, okay, that you have. So the second thing here is I want to show here is on the bottom left-hand side, you see this Ask a Librarian, okay? You click on that and then our little bot comes up. Now we do use a little AI to help us intake the questions we get. So you'll see a little bot. What you can do is it's a clickable thing where you select an option and you can contact us 7 days a week. Okay? So you maybe have a question about finding an article. A lot of times I'll get emails or questions about how do I find this journal where I can't find it electronically, or they want me to pay $50 for it. Second thing I want to tell everyone, please do not pay for anything. The library has subscriptions to journal articles that you need, things you need for class. Now, we don't buy textbooks or we don't buy those kind of things, but if you're using it for research purposes, we will get the materials that you need, okay? So don't feel like you have to buy the whole book or buy an article that you need. We'll get it for you, okay? And so basically, our Steam bot allows us to communicate with you. And what you do is you can submit a ticket with us. And we'll respond within 24 hours. We'll respond to your ticket, say, hey, here's what you need to do. Usually we give a little explanation, and then you can be on your way, get what you need to do. If it's more in-depth research, we do Zoom calls, we do phone calls, we meet face-to-face. I've done that with students where I come to the classroom before class, and we talk through maybe what they're looking for. And so feel free to ask questions how you want to ask questions. Don't feel like you're being bottled into one thing you need to do. So communicate with us how you want to communicate with us through Ask the Librarian, or you can call us. You can stop by the library services desk. You can do that also too. So that is the Ask the Librarian. So the main thing, second thing I'll say is please ask questions. There's no dumb questions, okay? It could be about your research. It could be about, hey, I'm thinking about doing this internship or this opportunity, but I need more information about it. We will help you guide through that, where you need to go to find that information for that too. Okay, number 2 here is on our menu here, number 3 is reserve a study room. You can reserve, we have 22 rooms that you can reserve in about 7 days in advance. So let's say you have a project coming up on Tuesday and you want to reserve it Friday afternoon, or maybe now we don't reserve the rooms on weekends, but it's Monday through Friday that you can reserve rooms 7 days in advance. So let's say the evening after class, you want to meet with your group and you want to be in a room where you can talk and kind of work. Just reserve it. Okay, it's like your hotel rooms. You make the reservation, come to the desk, and we'll give you a key. So that's the reserved study room. Okay. The last thing here is you'll see our search box in the middle there. Okay. That's how you find our articles, our ebooks. Because we've joined the UT system a couple years ago, we gained access to quite a few materials that we support all the curriculum. Okay, so it doesn't matter what class, MBA, if you're at forestry and ag, in the health professions, we support all that curriculum. And so basically you can use that search box to find things. Let's say an article about a topic. Maybe a professor wants you to find 3 articles for a short paper that you need to write on a topic. Okay, you can find all our materials there too, but also under the menu here, you have then, under the menu here, you'll see the search and find. Okay, under the search and find also too is it lists all our guides and then also all our databases, our A to Z list. Okay, and that's where you can find things. Let's say you know something about nursing, or you got to find something about, for example, the human sciences area. And so we got to change this with all reorg here, but basically, yeah, and you have that information about that, or that like aviation, or if you're interior design, whatever topic you're looking for. Okay, so our A to Z databases list is important. Then that way you find exactly what you need along with that information. So those are 3 things to help you get started with the library: the space, how to ask questions, and where to find the stuff, you know, the articles and the books. Okay. Now, if you need more instruction on those things, you can shoot us through Ask the Librarian and say, hey, can I meet with someone for 5 minutes? And I want to go through this kind of search, or I need to do this for class. How do I get started? That's what we're here for. Okay, me and my staff can help you with your questions as you work through looking for information for that too. So welcome to SFA. Hope you have a great start to the semester here as we work through. Hope to see you in the library or communicate online, okay, through us as we support your journey through SFA. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Sorry, I know you're probably trying to help. Never thought to ask this before, but with our agreement for publishing, so with our graduate program, some of our students in here will publish articles. And I know that we have waivers with certain journals with, waiver of these open access fees. Would that extend to student authors publishing with their?
Yes.
As well?
It's a good question. So Dr. Lane talking about where, let's say you want to publishing something in terms of a journal, let's say Elsevier or Sage, either major publishers, and you want to have it available open access. That way, no one it's open. It gets more use. It gets out in that sphere of discipline. And so we have agreements with these publishers to waive those fees. Typically, what happens is publishers will charge you a fee to publish something open access. Sometimes it's $3,000. I've seen different amounts. It's expensive. So what we have in the UT system that has negotiated deals with these publishers and say, hey, can you waive this fee for this journal, for these sets of journals? And then typically they waive those fees, and then your article gets published in open access. And so feel free to contact the Ask the Librarian. Just put something in there. Hey, I'm interested in this. Just let us know. And we can double check to make sure that journal that you're publishing in has that waiver. Okay. And that includes also too, if you have questions about where to publish. If you need to find information about where to publish, we can help you with that too. Okay. We also support the dissertation theses. All go into ScholarWorks. That's our open access database that we have to provide access to our thesis and dissertations. And so those get published. Now, you don't have to, some cases, you don't have to, you can put a where it delays it for a couple of years. If you decide to publish an article from your thesis or dissertation, you can do an embargo and wait a couple of years, and then it gets open to the general public. So that's another option as you think about your research and how to get the word out about your research is through ScholarWorks, but also the open access through the publishers too. Any questions? Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm going to introduce Jessica from the Hub. She's going to give you some details about all of the services that they offer.
Okay, so sorry I'm just like this. I was hoping we'd move in until about 1 o'clock, so you get me as I came today. So as we can see, it said I'm Jessica Wagestack. I am the program director for student well-being over at the Health and Wellness Hub, which from this location
or in the front of the building, like that way. It's right at Regay and East College, and so I'm gonna kind of quickly go over the various programs that all fall under one roof that all of you, because you're a graduate student, you have access to. All right, so we kind of break our building, our department down into multiple different areas. Counseling services, care navigation, health clinic, student outreach and well-being, and then lumberjack pantry. Yes, I hit them all. And so again, we all are under one roof. I'll go and give our contact information at the very end. But kind of the nice approach to how we are set up within the Health and Wellness Hub is we're very much a one-stop shop for most of your well-being needs. We do have many students who use one or two or all of the services all within our building, and you do have that same access as well. So I kind of put our different areas, our offices within kind of different pillars. And so I'm gonna just kind of briefly go over this. I do have brochures that can go outside our, okay, perfect. So I did bring brochures, but all of our information is also found on our website. So mental health, kind of our main component that we address mental health within the hub is counseling services. The majority of our counselors are licensed therapists, and I say the majority because we do have every now and again each semester one either graduate student like yourself or an intern who is also in their graduate level program of counseling. But with counseling, we offer individual, so one-on-one. It's if I was your counselor and you just by yourself in that office. We do group, we do pairs, we do couples counseling as well. All of those are free services. And we also have a few other options for you. We have things such as group therapy. So we have some students who talking one-on-one with a counselor is not their vibe. They're like, no way, no how. But you know what? Let me go and speak to someone. Let me go and speak in a larger group with other peers just like yourself. You can go and do group therapy. If you don't want to do group and you only want to do individual, all power to you. It is all strictly up to you and how you wish to approach it. We also do have something called crisis counseling. So there's kind of a few different things I want to make you aware. To see an individual counselor, you're gonna either call to schedule that appointment, or you're gonna come by Monday through Friday from 2 to 3 o'clock. But crisis doesn't hold for Monday through Friday, 2 to 3 o'clock, or an appointment. So if you find yourself in a crisis, you know someone in the class who is in crisis, and that's going to manifest in different ways. So I can't say it's going to be exactly this way. If you think you're in a crisis, we are open. Please come over to the Health and Wellness Hub. I know graduate students, a lot of you are working full time in addition to going to grad school. So we do have an option that is telephonic. So you're gonna call our main line, you're gonna press 1 for the crisis line, and you're gonna be speaking to a crisis counselor. So you have kind of 2 different options depending on what your preference is. But if you can safely get over to our building when we're open, please come over. Do not hesitate. Don't wait and say, it's 11 o'clock in the morning, I can't come because I don't have an appointment. No, please come on over. We also have something called timely care. So when we merged with the UT system, we had a huge benefit for our students, which is something called timely care. You can download the app. It is free to utilize, which everything in here is free. You can create your account, and you can literally go shopping for your counselor. You can shop based off gender, ethnicity, background, experience, location, where they are. Great thing about timely care, it is 24/7, 365 days a year. So say you're working full-time, also doing grad program, which a lot of those classes are at the evening time, you can go and speak with your counselor of timely care at midnight, if that is what you like to do. You want to speak to them at 5 o'clock in the morning? Great, awesome. You have that ability to do so. There is no extra charge for timely care. There's no charge for anything within counseling. But I was a grad student few years ago. I've been there. It is stressful. We know that if there's something going on kind of emotionally, you're not going to be successful in the classroom. And so we really want to give you those tools and those resources that if you do need to speak to someone, you do have that available. The other area is physical health. That's what I kind of call our health clinic side of the building. We are very much like a family practitioner. If you're not originally from, if you don't live in Nacogdoches, you just traveled in, it's kind of like you're a family practitioner back home. We're not set up for emergencies. So if you have a broken bone, Miss Fran may stabilize it, but they're either going to send you to the emergency room with a buddy, or we're going to go and call an ambulance for you. Same thing for breathing issues. So think of things such as annual checkups, well woman exams. I suddenly wake up sick because all of the students are back and everyone gets sick in August and September. You can utilize the health clinic. We also do have where, hey, I have a medication back home, I routinely take prescription A, can you go in and prescribe it for me? One, you have to still meet with the providers first. They can't just say, yes, you're on prescription A, let me just refill it. No, you have to meet with Fran or Bonnie first. And then two, anything that is a controlled substance, those are our ADHD medication, we cannot refill. We cannot prescribe. So doesn't matter if you've been on it for 5 years, they cannot go and write you a refill for it, but they can go and assist you in getting connected within a provider in the NAC community. That tends to be one of those questions I get often about the health clinic. The other thing is, how much does it cost? So there's no cost to see the providers at the Health and Wellness Hub. Within your student fees, you have access to it. So there's not going to say, hey, $30 copay, or you are uninsured or we don't take your insurance, give me $50, something like that. What do cost are labs. So if Megan comes in and we're like, and Miss Fran's like, ooh, let's see if you have strep. I hope you don't. I don't see you would. Hopefully you don't. So sorry, Megan. She thinks, you know what, let's go and check if Megan has strep. That is considered a lab to do a strep culture. If you are insured and we take your insurance, it gets filed on insurance. If you're uninsured or you don't wish to use your insurance for various reasons, our cash payment prices have not changed in 15 years. So what we hear from students and families, they're going to be the best price in town compared to going to anywhere else. But those are also all within one building. Next area I want to cover is support and basic needs. So this is something called kind of care navigation. So who in here, especially if you went here as an undergrad student, who has heard of an eye care report? Okay, this is fabulous. This actually makes me happy. So care navigation basically brings in students who they have a report on that they're concerned about. What it looks like, and I'm going to use Megan again because I know Megan. So I have Megan for anthropology. You know what? That sounds good. And something seems off on Megan. I'm a little bit concerned. Maybe I don't know who to talk to. I can go and fill out an eye care report on Megan. That gets funneled to the appropriate office within our building. Thing about eye care reports and care navigation, you're not in trouble. It is not a conduct issue. It is basically someone is putting you on our radar and we want to bring you in to see, is there anything we can do to help you? Maybe it's just getting you connected to resources and services that you heard about during graduate orientation, but it's a lot of information. Anyone can fill out one of these eye cares. You can fill it out on yourself, on another student. Family members can fill it out, and faculty and staff as well. If you fill one out, please know it is anonymous. So even if I was to bring Megan in and Megan meets with Amy Smith, who is our care navigator, and Megan's like, I know it was Jessica who went and submitted it. Amy will not go and confirm that, yes, it truly did come from Jessica. So it is a really great resource to, hey, I'm worried about someone, but I don't want them to get mad at me. Other things within support and basic needs is the lumberjack pantry. So as a grad student, you are also able to utilize this. Lumberjack pantry helps address food insecurity. It is not meant to be your sole food source. It is just meant to kind of supplement it. If you live on campus, you receive 50 points a month. If you live off campus, you receive 100 points a month. These points do not roll over, so you cannot hoard them until November. I'm sorry. But we have perishable, perishable and non-perishable items, as well as baby needs and basic hygiene items. So we have things such as spaghetti sauce, frozen vegetables, cereal, bread, deli meat, kind of a wide range of things. We try to have them res hall friendly, as well as, hey, you're in an apartment, you're in a condo, a house. There is no requirement to utilize the pantry other than you're an SFA student. We have some students who utilize it their entire career here at SFA, and some use it for a month. But again, it is only meant to supplement. It's not meant to be your sole food source. Let's see. And then lastly, outreach and well-being. Kind of the main thing that I really want to hit there is the well-being coaching. So well-being coaching, you can either sign up to meet with a coach yourself, or you might be referred by someone on campus. It helps with goal setting and kind of helping keeping students accountable. More likely than not, we're helping students managing their time, which for grad school, it is a lot. We've met with grad students. I've met with them, my peers have as well. But it's kind of helping someone transition into graduate program and, hey, how do I go and handle all of this on my plate? Maybe it's you are really stressed out because you have personal and academic stuff going on. We can go and kind of help you address that. You are literally the driver with well-being coaching. We're not here to say, hey, this is exactly how you need to address your stress level, Megan. How dare you? We're going to go and let Megan be the driver, and we just really kind of hold her hand along the way, get her where she wants to be. We also do have alcohol and substance misuse from individuals who wish to quit completely to they want to cut back. It's kind of a very wide range of habits that I meet with, from just I do it on the weekend to it's taken over my life. So if that is something that you wish to get help, you want to recommend, you also have that available to you as an SFA student. And then lastly, because I know I have 10 minutes, how do you get a hold of us? So one, we are Health and Wellness Hub. We are the Tucker Building, Reggae, and East College Streets, right where the new forestry agriculture building is getting built. Our hours, once Monday hits, because the fall semester begins, will be 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. So if you want to come in at 7 a.m., all power to you. Our website, telephone number, web address, all are up there. It is one telephone number to get a hold of everyone in the office. So even if you're like, hey, I don't know who I need, I just need the hub, they'll then go and kind of transfer you to where you need to be. Questions? I'm sorry, that's a lot. Was it helpful?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Really, no questions?
You're very hello.
You can tell I've done this a lot. But yeah, like I can't recommend enough, like utilize these resources, I know Jeremy just spoke, but utilize all these resources here. I was a grad student. I worked full time while doing grad school. Free kid, it's a lot, but seek help when you need it, but utilize them because then they're not there when you graduate. Cool. All right, then I'm glad I was thorough. I will have brochures in the back. If you want to grab them, great. If you don't, great. Thank you.
All right, next we'll welcome Dr. Veronica Beavers. She is the Associate Dean of Students with the Student Development and Support Services.
All right. Shout out to the schedule because I think I compliment Jessica very well going after her.
Your luck.
Yeah, so we work together a lot, but I am Veronica Beavers. I serve as the Associate Dean of Student Development and Support, but Associate Dean of Students. And so when you think of the Dean of Students, think there is the engagement side of things, where you see a lot of your involvement things, and then there's the support side. And that is me. So within our office, we have a couple of things. We have our mentoring programs that is Aspire. You see my shirt, I've been running around there all day. Also, we have so mentoring connection. We also have parenting support services, which I'll go into more detail on my next slide. As a former graduate student with a child, it was a lot. Without a child, it was a lot, but also with a child, it was a lot. So we have some services that can help. Also, our Veterans Resource Center, which I know you'll hear about later, testing services, student conduct, absence notifications. So if there is an emergency, life happens. If there's an emergency that happens and you're like, I do not have time to email all of my professors, this is something I have to go into, and I hope not, but I have to go into surgery, I have to do lots of things, then you can reach out to us and we have a process for that. Student Emergency Aid Fund. So every student at SFA is eligible for Student Emergency Aid Fund. So if you find, once again, life happens, and you find yourself in a bind, and you're like, I need some services, then you are allowed up to currently you're allowed up to $1,000 while you're at SFA. Now, this has to be approved. There's a couple of restrictions. That's all on our website. For example, you can't have a $2,000 refund and then come and say, oh, I need $100. Look, we're going to do $2,000. And so there's a couple of restrictions with that, but overall, those are things. And so bottom line, if life starts getting in the way of school, we can help you figure out the next step. All right, so come to us if you experience an emergency or major life circumstance, aren't sure which campus office can help, need assistance communicating about an emergency absence, once again, and then need help connecting to university or community resources, and then are struggling to stay connected or navigate SFA. So we can help with any of those things. All right, I did want to push on parenting support services because a lot of students who are graduate students we do help. And so graduate school parenting is a lot to balance. So a couple of things. So I, in my role, also serve as the parenting liaison. So that serves for pregnant students and parenting students. And so a couple of things. So as the parenting liaison, I can help you with lots of things. One thing that I get contacted the most about. So if anyone happens to have a pregnancy, I'm able to give those accommodations. I work with disability services. I'm able to, per policy, there's excused absences that if you're like, hey, I have to have a human, I have to have a child, I need to be out of class, that is reasonable, okay? And I can help you get connected with that. Also for our parents, so once you have the child, and there's Jessica touched on our parent pantry that is connected with the Lumberjack Food Pantry. We also have a parenting resource room that is on the 3rd floor of the Student Center. You don't have to remember all of this because we have a website for all of it. And I'll also leave some brochures in the back. We also received a very large grant last year. And so that has supported, once again, that parenting resource room. And then also it has helped a lot with building a community of parents. And so because of that, we have a parent-student organization. We have a parenting identification form where we send out things like, hey, if you need, we have some extra high chairs and we can help you get, if anybody needs these, let us know. We can keep you connected with the university. And so we have all those things for parenting students that I just want to highlight. Once again, I'll leave some brochures in the back. So remember, you don't have to figure out SFA by yourself. If you aren't sure where to go, start with us. And this is we are on the 3rd floor of the Student Center, 3.105. This is our email address, phone number, and then our website. And then also, like I said, I'll leave the parenting support services brochures in the back. Are there any questions? Oh, y'all let me off easy. Okay. I'm gonna leave before y'all change your minds. Okay. Thank y'all.
Now we will welcome Sarah from the ARC, and she's going to give you some information about all of their resources.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to SFA. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Sarah Ham. I am the Writing Program Director at the Academic Assistance Resource Center, also known as the ARC, located on the 1st floor of Steam Library. If you walk in, you might see one of our friendly welcome desk workers, and we would be so glad for you to stop and visit with us. So what can we help with for grad students? We know that at the graduate level, Your reading and writing content is going to be very rigorous, and we are here to help you with those writing assignments. Make sure I'm not forgetting anything. So what do we help with? We help with all stages of the writing process. This does not have to be someone who is an English grad student. It's any grad student. We have a graduate teaching assistant that stays at the ART. They are the expert on all graduate level writing. They help you at the beginning. So if you've been given an assignment, you're at the beginning of your thesis, you want someone to kind of take a look and help you outline what you're going to do. If you want just a writing plan, all the different steps it will take to finish that project, they are there to help you. If you already have a messy draft, you've got to first start and you want someone to start working with you on revision, they're there for that. If you're toward the end and just want a last look, we always recommend that you have someone look at your writing before you submit it for final approval, and they are there for that as well. Of course, they're very proficient in APA, MLA, Chicago, and any of the other style guides. They're really good at using whichever one you've been assigned to use. They can tell you how to cite all those different things that you've been told to cite, graphs, images, all kinds of things. All right, let's talk about, and if you need to do a presentation. So if you need to present your paper, they are also there for you if you want to work through how to turn that into a slide deck and what that presentation will look like. This semester, my GPA is very, very strong in public speaking. So he is very excited. He hopes someone will come over and talk with him about how to turn their paper into a presentation. Okay, so when can we help? You know that you're busy students. We can help in two ways. You can meet with them face-to-face in the ART, but a lot of you probably have busy lives, jobs. So if that is not an option, you can also meet with them, or you can turn in a draft remotely through the online writing lab, which we also call the OWL. You're already enrolled. It is housed in D2L. Let me see, I have a picture here. Yes. So if you get on D2L, most likely it's under the ongoing courses tab at the bottom. Look for the purple owl. You can submit any writing assignment, doesn't matter what course, to the owl. Our GTA is the only one who will be looking at that draft and offering you feedback. Their turnaround time, if you submit a draft, is about 24 to 72 hours if you get it to us before Thursday at 5. If you get it to us after Thursday at 5, you're probably looking at Monday or Tuesday to get it back to you. What I recommend doing first is making sure you're enrolled. If you don't see this course, sometimes in the mass enrollment, some of our grad students get left off. That's okay if that happens. All you have to do is email me and I can just add you. So I recommend that you make sure you can see this before you have a deadline so that when you want to use it, you don't have to wait for me to add you. I'm going to give you my email at the end of this presentation. We use a Dropbox, so you'll just download it. You like a Word document, and then you upload your document. We'll also have a place for you to tell us exactly what questions you have. If you have a sheet that tells you what you've been asked to do, what course, what professor, give us a little background on what your assignment is, and then our GTA can best customize their feedback for you. All right. Oh, and let me back up real quick because I kind of glanced over. If you want to meet with them face to face, so our GTA has office hours. He's in Tuesday through Thursday. Their hours are going to be posted on our website, which is at the end of this slide. So you can look and see when they're in office. They're in the back left corner of the ART. But you can also contact us and he can book an appointment with you if you need to meet with him outside of his regular office hours. He can also meet with you through Zoom. So in short, if you want to meet with him face to face, all you have to do is email me and we can work with you to get an appointment with our GTA. There's my contact information. That's what the OWL should look like. If it's on D2L, it should be. And then we have this great landing page here full of writing resources that a past GA created specifically for grad students. Any questions? All right, we have a great GTA this semester. All of them have been great. This one's really excited to get started. He's actually in his first semester of his PhD work. So he has been through what you've been through and really wants to work with students. So, all right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Next, we will have April from our newly named Center for Career Education and Exploration.
Hello, everybody. How are y'all doing? Good. Apologize about my outfits. We were cleaning and moving around things, getting ready for everybody starting on Monday, and I forgot my bag at home that had my professional dress. So you get casual April today. So I'm so glad you guys are here. I'm so glad you're being part of our lumberjack family. We're so excited that you're here. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the Center for Career Education and Exploration. If you haven't been at SFA before, you're going to learn really quickly. There's lots of acronyms out there, right? So it's CCEE. I unofficially say C squared, E squared because that's just more fun to say. So we are basically the career center for you guys, a career resource for you as a student and even after you graduate as an alumni, okay? At your undergrads, you probably had a very similar office to ours, but promise you ours is cooler. So we are, again, formally the career center. We've gone through some name changes, but we're just here to help you alongside your professional journey. We believe you've been on one before you got to SFA. You're going to continue to be on one while you're here, and you're definitely going to be on one after you graduate. This is our staff, and so we've got Brent as our executive director, myself, Emma is our assistant director. We just hired a new coordinator. We don't have his picture yet, sorry, Clay. And then we have student career advocates. So these are undergraduate students that we have trained for over 6 months to help engage with you guys, be peer mentors, and things like that, and they can help us with all those things. We are located on the second floor of the library. It's a great place to go study. Or what I joke with the undergrads, that's where you tell your mom you're at all the time. But we are right next to the new first year advising center. You just go up the elevator off the second floor and just make a big U-turn. We're basically right behind the elevator there. And so you guys have already been on a professional journey and things like that. We always like to kind of offer just a little bit of advice as you're starting this journey. Some of you might be coming right off of your undergraduate. Some of you might be coming back to pursue this upper level degree and stuff like that. But it's still good to just hear some reminders and things like that. First of all, it's just to be intentional. Fortunately and unfortunately, your professional development is really in your hands at this point, okay? Not all of you are going to have a class on exactly what you need to do to be professionally developed, to go out into the world of work or go to it in a new way with this new degree and things like that. So it really does take extra energy and time on your part to continue to grow professionally. Now, that's also not to say you're in this alone. Obviously, our office is here, your faculty advisors, all the staff. Literally, our jobs at SFA are to help and support you guys. So please know, but it does take some intentionality. We talk about something called planned happenstance, and what that means is you can't just sit there and wait for opportunities to come to you. You've got to go out and gain experiences, gain different opportunities, and those will find you, right? But it does take a little bit of extra energy. So I just want to make sure that you guys are being active in that. And even though you might not have a formal class or an assignment with it, it needs to be something to work towards. Along that, we just really encourage more experience, any kind of experience, paid experience, unpaid experience. It doesn't really matter, okay? Because we talk to recruiters all the time, and while they're looking for people with certain degrees and certain GPAs and things like that, what they're really looking for are things called transferable skills, right? How can you work as a team? How can you lead? Can you critically think? Can you problem solve? All of that type of stuff is things that they're looking for on top of the excellent education that you'll be getting here. But you've got to go out and do things to gain those types of skills, right? So attend conferences, right? That's a really easy professional, most of your organizations or programs that you're in, there's usually a student fee, or it's even free for you to join a lot of these professional organizations. Go to those. Volunteer. You can still join a student organization here. That's still just as important for you to feel connected and find people here. That will make you feel even better. You will get, maybe some of you are TTAs, you'll get a lot of teaching experience. You know, reach out to this, the Center for Teaching and Learning, all that stuff. They can help support you and things like that. And then obviously research partnerships is another kind of easy way to do that. So again, you've got to go, and even though a lot of times, so I was a grad student too, and I just wanted to go and do my work and go home and be done with it, because it's a lot. But it's still important to go out and experience new things and challenge yourself that way. Now, once you go and get these experiences, reflection is a really, really key point in that as well. You've got to really just kind of stop after an experience and think, what did I think of that? Did I like that? What did I learn from that? What skills did I gain from that? A lot of times, you know, when we're thinking about our future career and stuff, we feel like we have to have all of it mapped out. And a lot of times you're in a graduate program because you have a sense of direction, right? You have an area that you're wanting to run towards, and that's awesome. But we still want to walk along that path and stop and check in and make sure we're running the right direction. And then also when you do these reflection pieces of just like, man, that was
a really hard group project that I worked on. What did I actually learn from that? You know, one, that's a standard interview question, okay? Like stuff like that. So you can use that as an experience. But also it just helps affirm that next step for you, right? You're like, you know what, I really do love teaching a lot more. Maybe I didn't think about that before. What can I do with my degree that includes teaching and things like that? And also remember that when you are having these experiences that you're learning a lot more there than what you might think. A lot of stuff, you know, when we're looking at CVs or resumes with grad students, we'll see things like, oh, I measured data working in this lab. But the truth is you're doing much more than that. So again, you're pulling out those transferable skills. You're generally critically thinking, you're organizing, you're being detail oriented, that type of stuff. So when you reflect, you're going to recognize those skill sets, and then you want to talk about those skill sets, right? You want to put it in your resume, talk about it in interviews, and things like that. So again, all rooted back into those transferable skills. Another tip is just practice professional communication. This is probably the biggest pet peeve for a lot of people, is just poor communication. And while you're like, I'm not that great at it, I don't know how to speak professionally all the time, that's okay. You're here to learn, and we're here to help you with that as well. But one tip that we would tell you to talk about is just like learning how to speak succinctly about yourself, your program, and kind of where your interest is, where you're wanting to go next with it, okay? This is going to be really, really helpful because at those conferences, at those presentations, at the ways you're being engaged and plugged in, you're just going to be talking about yourself, okay? You may have heard of an elevator pitch. This is very similar to that. It's not necessarily a written script, but it's good to know and just have in your back pocket of like, what do I want people to know about me, right? Because you're going to have any sort of informal conversation, either whether it's at a conference or just talking to someone in class, is a chance to practice professional communication. And so it's really helpful for y'all just to know how to talk about what it is you're doing and what you're interested in and things like that as well. So practice communicating professionally in all sorts of scenarios. Once again, just keep making connections here. Again, I know sometimes being in grad school, you're like, I just want to get through this and done. But trust me, you need a support system here, and SFA will have lots of opportunities for you to do that. So just get plugged in for that as well. Okay, I'm done momming y'all for just a minute, but I do want to tell you a little bit about the services of our office so that you, again, have access to those as free. If you don't mind, please take your phone out and follow this QR code. This will open your Handshake account. So everybody in here already has an account. You will log in using your MySFA credentials. And this is a platform that's used by all sorts of colleges and recruiters across the US and the world. This is not an SFA specific thing, okay? But what this is a combination. It's our career management platform. So basically, it's how you can make appointments with our office. You can go in there, select an appointment. It'll pull up our availability. You can book it on there and you're done. All of our resources are free for you, but they are housed within this platform. So you do have to go within there to find them. And then it's a little bit like LinkedIn and an Indeed job board meshed as well. All of our recruiters that are wanting to recruit lumberjacks have to have a profile page in here. So very much like LinkedIn. US students have a profile page. So it's a social professional network that you can engage with on there. Recruiters and stuff are all vetted by our office. We're trying to really make sure you guys aren't getting scammed or something like that. Some have gotten through, I'm not sorry, but but we try really hard. And again, these are people that have reached out and said, we want to recruit lumberjacks, right? So there's already a relationship there. Just as a note, no recruiter is given your contact information, okay? But they can communicate to you through the Handshake platform, okay? So it's not like we're giving out your email address or anything like that. Now, if in there you choose to do that, that's on you. But then there's also job boards on here. So this is opportunities for part-time job, internship, full-time opportunities, postdocs, and things like that. So you can go in there, and it's one of those, it's any other algorithm. The more you use it, the more it's going to tailor things towards you. When you are maybe looking for a full-time opportunity or something like that towards graduation, you kind of tell what you're looking for, and then it might give you an opportunity that you might like based on like title or location and stuff. And then at the bottom of that, it will say, hey, here's some similar jobs to that, and so you can keep kind of playing with it, and it'll give you some opportunities there. Now, we can also help with exploration. So we have appointments called career coaching appointments. So maybe you love your degree, like you love what you're studying. It's just kind of like, what can I do with it, right? Oftentimes, we don't realize how many more opportunities you have with a degree, no matter what your major is, and things like that. And so we can help you kind of explore and figure that out. We can also help you with the job search when you're ready to do that. And then we can also just kind of be accountability partners. Sometimes you just need someone to be like, hey, just check in with me in a couple weeks and we'll make sure that we're moving through that together. As I mentioned, we do employer connections as well. We host career fairs on campus. We manage that handshake platform and all the job boards and things like that. And then we will also have some companies come and do like informational tables for you guys and things like that. Career fairs, I'll give you a slide at the end that gives you the dates of those, but we have them every fall and spring. So I really encourage you to do that. We also help you with professional practice and presentation. So we help you find the job, we help you get the job, okay? So this is kind of what most people know us for, but we can help you with resumes and CVs. We can help you with cover letters or personal statements, help you with your LinkedIn or your handshake professional profiles. We can help you with mock interviews and things like that. We have a digital platform. You can do a mock interview anytime you want to, and you can send it to our office and we'll review the video, or you can come in one-on-one and we're happy to do that with you as well. I also like to point out our career closet. So whether you're going to a conference or maybe you need a professional to be professionally dressed for a presentation of some kind or an interview or things like that, you can come borrow professional clothing for free from our office. I promise we get it dry cleaned. It's not like something gross in there. And so we also take donations. So if you're cleaning out, you need stuff, but I know it's expensive or sometimes you didn't bring it with you, things like that. You can just stop by our office anytime and borrow things from there as well. A little bit more tips here is, especially speaking to this type of audience, we want to kind of just reflect really quickly on resumes or CVs. Some of you might have a resume that looks like this. You've got color on it. You've got your photo on it. And my thing for y'all is just don't do that, okay? So make sure you do not have a photo on there that offers opportunities for discrimination. Color is not always, while it's pretty, I'm not saying it looks bad by any means, but a lot of people will print resumes and not everybody has a color printer. And so not all times the text will come through and pop like that. Always remember too that on your resume or your CV, it's not just paid positions that can go on there. It can be student organizations and involvement and things like that. Now, this is also a template, this example we have right here. And I know it's so easy to download those. They look great. But a lot of times, so there's something called applicant tracking systems. And basically it's things that scan your resume when you apply for a job. And if you have certain markers that they're looking for with that job, then that will be forwarded on to the next level to probably be seen by real human eyes, okay? Templates, applicant tracking systems, ATSs, do not like templates, okay? So while you might like the look of it, I also don't encourage like a bunch of text like that. We usually are going to tell you to do more bullet points. Now, if you are interested in doing a CV, particularly if you're wanting to stay in higher education or in the research field and things like that, my tip for y'all right now is one, all CVs look different. There's not one template out there. But two, start writing everything down now. Your CV is like your bibliography of your experiences. So anytime you present, anytime you teach, keep track of how many students that was, where you present, what the titles of your presentations were, things like that. I promise you, because you're like, I don't need a CV right now. It's 2 years down the road. You'll be so thankful to your past self that you kept track of everything that you did. Again, please utilize our resources. Like we're here to help with that as well. I'm going to back up one slide. So if you are interested in like meeting with us to talk, maybe I'm just going to pick on resume and CV as an example. You can schedule a one-on-one appointment with us. Our appointments can be in person or over Zoom or over the phone. Or if you just maybe want us to look over something and not really talk to us, we have an online form. You just go to our website, upload it, give us about 3 business days, and then we will send it back to you with edits. You don't have to actually talk to anybody, okay? And stuff like that. So it kind of depends on what your needs are. We're happy to help you with. Now, if you're applying for a job or you have a deadline, put that in the notes section and we can bump you up on that list and things like that. If you want to, you take a photo of this too. These are our dates for our career fairs for this fall semester. Even if you're not ready to start looking, I would really encourage you guys to go, particularly the All Majors Career Fair is an easy one. Kind of just, if you've never gone to a career fair before, going when it's not so much pressure is really, really helpful, okay? You don't have the like, oh my gosh, I'm graduating, I need to get a job, like pressure, right? You can just go and talk and learn about companies. Our recruiters typically come back. You can see them again this next semester and things like that. So you can start building relationships with them and stuff like that. Now, we will also be hosting workshops and different things. In fact, we do have a resume versus CV workshop scheduled with the Graduate Advising Office. So that will be October. I should have totally put a slide in here. I'm sorry, I forgot. But that is geared just for you guys. It'll be over Zoom and stuff like that. But we'll send that out, more communication and stuff. And finally, this is just our contact information. Like I said, that QR code will take you to our website. At the very top of our website will be how to submit a review, how to make an appointment, resources, all of that type of stuff. So Does anybody have any questions? That means I did really well, so I'm so glad everybody's got all their questions answered. I really appreciate your time. We're excited y'all are here, and thanks. All right, it's actually okay that she ran a little long because our next presenter couldn't join us today. But she did ask me to provide a little bit of information about the Veterans Resource Center. So you can see their contact information on the screen if you need to reach out. She did let me know that military families are welcome to stop by for school supplies, free printing. They have a study area. Sometimes they have events where you can come make connections with other military families. So feel free to utilize that resource. They are located in the Student Center on the first floor near Chick-fil-A, I believe. Okay, let's bring Megan up for another test your knowledge.
This is gonna be really hard with my fake strep throat that I was given earlier. But the prize was the same shirt, so I'm not gonna do my big Vanna White presentation if you don't know who Vanna White is. Felt like I was saying that. Okay, are y'all ready?
Ready?
Let's go.
Out.
Bonus. Oh, what is it? I could be wrong. It's like it's you over here. It's D.
Correct. Very good. All right, we will get you your t-shirt. Okay, I think we are a little ahead of schedule. I don't think our next presenter is here quite yet. But I did want to mention, I mentioned your packet that you picked up at the beginning when you came in. I did not mention the last page. So for in-person attendees specifically, we will have a Jack Walker here available after the orientation. If you would like to take a brief campus tour, I know it is scorching out there, so I asked them to shorten it a little bit, but they're going to hit all of the main spots of campus. If you're not familiar, if you just want to hear the campus tour from an actual Jack Walker who does that as a job, she will be here afterwards, starting at 3 p.m. She'll take you around. So that is the agenda, the last page for the tour, if you're interested. Let's see. I guess let's take a quick breather. Oh, actually, he's here. So sorry about that. All right, he is here. It is Dr. Gladys. He's going to tell you about our fellowship program.
They're counting on my phone, yes. Okay. Hi, I'm Dr. Steve Gladys from the Department of Government and Sociology. I also serve as the campus coordinator for the Archer Fellowship Program. First thing I want you to know about the program is this is the Washington, D.C. campus of the University of Texas System. And this program was created originally on the campus of UT Dallas. Oops. In memory or by Congressman Bill Archer, who spent many years in the U.S. Congress working and representing residents of the Metroplex, the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. They have a summer program for graduate students, and that's why I'm here to talk to you about this exciting opportunity for you as incoming graduate students to think about. And this is open to all degree programs. So it doesn't matter your degree programs. From some of our sister institutions, for example, they have sent graduate students in psychology, neuroscience, from the medical campuses, like the Galveston Medical Campus, like Southwestern Medical Campus in Dallas-Fort Worth. Psychology graduate students, engineering graduate students, you name the program. We have sent graduate students, or the UT system has selected students from across the curriculum, and that's the point. By the way, if some of you are in selected degree programs and you're like, how is this going to work in my degree program? That's one of the reasons why it's a summer program, right? And I've actually had meetings with graduate directors and program directors in multiple degree programs on this campus to figure out how we can align Archer to work with your degree program and get into your degree program. Okay, now, having said that, there are 3 components to this program. The first is learning. You will receive 9 hours of credit for being an Archer Fellow if you are selected. Now, those hours do come in as either public administration or national security studies, because that's where I'm based. But again, those courses are designed so they can apply to any degree program. 3 of those hours, by the way, are the intern itself. So if your degree program requires some clinical hours, and we can get that substituted, that's fine. If it requires research hours or internship hours, that will definitely align. There's other creative ways we can make this work. 3 hours of this is a policy-making class. Many of you are in degree programs that do require a policy class or more in your field, right? This can substitute as one of those courses. The other 3 hours is a research seminar class where you are divided into cohorts based on policy area. That's everything from education to security and defense to healthcare to technology policy. They'll typically have about 4 or 5 of these working groups a summer. And that's the final 3. And that's really a directed study opportunity for you to take your research to DC, gather data, gather information, and work on a research project or paper. Okay. Second thing, you live in DC. This is the DC campus. Some of that you have the option as graduate students to sign up for and stay in the Archer Center's housing complex that they work with. By the way, that complex is right off a metro stop, just a couple of stops on, I think it's the Red Line down to the U.S. Capitol in the heart of our national government. So that's it's a great place to live too, because they have their own internal workout center. So you want to get some stress, you want to relieve some stress. There's also a rooftop pool. And by the way, it's probably cheaper than if you try and go and secure your own housing. Now, if you're married, you have a significant other, you have children or whatever, that's probably not the housing for you. But anyway, there's a housing component. By the way, if you're an undergraduate and you're selected, the undergraduate program is long semesters, fall and spring. They have to stay in this facility because there is a huge cohort component of this. And you intern. You intern with conducting an internship with a federal government agency, the U.S. executive branch, the president, the White House, members of Congress, congressional committees, the U.S. Supreme Court, agencies, all not-for-profits, all sorts of entities that have a presence in Washington, D.C. One of our undergraduates who is selected to go in the spring, this coming spring semester, Colby England from accounting. He's an accounting major, that in your brain. An accounting major selected as an Archer Fellow. He had an interview, I probably should let this out, let him actually let this out on campus, but he came to my office 2 weeks ago. He had an interview with Ernst & Young. Do you know what Ernst & Young is? It's one of the top 4 accounting companies in this country. Why? Because he's an Archer Fellow. And then so he's hoping to hear back from them, and he would be interning with the DC office of Ernst & Young. American Restaurant Association, the American Cattle Association. You name the entity, it probably has the Washington, D.C. presence. Also other executive agencies, Clayton Kent, who was an Archer Fellow this past summer from National Security Studies. His internship was with the National Archives, but it wasn't just with the National Archives because he's in National Security Studies. He got to intern with the oversight group that oversees the handling of classified documents for our government for historic preservation. What an amazing opportunity. You name the entity, we can probably find you an internship with that in Washington, D.C. Often these are paid internships, so you're going to also get paid to do your work in D.C. Not guaranteed, but often. All right. Eligibility. You have to be enrolled in a degree program at a UT institution. You have to have completed by the time that you go 9 hours of graduate work at SFA. Okay. So what does that mean? You can apply at the end of the semester if you're taking 9 more hours, correct? this semester. Now, some of you are on master's degrees, right? How many of your master's candidates are going to be a master's, right? You have what? 30 to 36 hours to complete your degree, right? That's going to occur like this, correct? So if this is interesting to you, and you want to talk about it, we'll talk about what you need to do right off the bat. If you want to try and do this your second summer while you're with us, right before you're graduating, we'll talk about strategy. We can talk about strategies to do that as well. You have to have a 3.0 GPA or higher. You have to have some service or leadership on campus in the community. It doesn't matter. Some prior work experiences will also matter. You are graduate students, so those kind of things. Prior positions, prior jobs, even if they're not related to your current course of study, as long as you can articulate, here's what I learned. Our first Archer fellow who went, Tara Bocock, an undergraduate, we got kind of a special, when SFA went into the UT system, they gave us a quick and fast entry to get an Archer fellow in DC our first year. By the way, that was done before we officially became a UT system school. This is how much they wanted SFA. This is how much they knew that this program is a game changer on this campus. She, as her only prior work experience, was as a bartender and waitress at a Italian restaurant in Lufkin. But during her interview process, during her application material, she talked about how that helped her understand labor issues, customer service issues, how to work with people who are angry with you sometimes. So there's lots of ways that you can make prior work experience work on your application as part of this. And you have to have a focus associated with the U.S. national government and national government policy. If you are here at SFA and you're working on a degree program, it is primarily about local government or local community impact. If it's about state impact, state issues, this is not the program for you. But if it is connecting, and by the way, the national government affects every one of your degree programs in one way or another. One way or another. There's a federal regulation out there. There's a federal agency out there. There is something going on that is going to impact all of your career fields. How are you selected? It is competitive. We are not guaranteed slots. Last year we had 3 applicants, 1 accepted. The year before, this is Oliver Cook. They were our only applicants that year that got to go. Didn't have to, by the way. It's competitive. You have to complete an online application that usually opens around October 1st, and it closes somewhere around November 1st or November 15th a year. We're going to talk about recruitment and other activities and information sessions in just a minute or two. Semifinalists are offered an on-campus in-person interview with a committee of 5 people. Guess who gets to serve as the head of that committee? Part of my job. Guess who recruits the other 2 members of that committee from SFA? That's part of my job. I will turn to graduate program directors. I will get other people involved on campus. And then there are 2 people who represent the Archer Center who participate in that. One of those people occasionally is Sally Lawrence. Sally Lawrence works at the Archer Center in DC. She is the placement director for their internships. There, she's there as a resource and a help to get you an internship. Approximately 36 students each summer are selected from across the UT system. So it's very competitive, but it's an amazing program. How much does it cost? Flat rate tuition fees. You don't pay normal tuition fees. You're going to pay $3,900 for the 9 hours of course credit. That is a bargain, correct? Yes. And here's the deal. Pending budgetary approval, again this coming year, SFA is planning to pay that tuition fees for you. We will put a scholarship on your account. Thank you to Dr. Jordan Markley and the people in the provost office of SFA. By the way, that places us, tied with one other institution, as the most institutional support for an Archer Fellow in the entire UT system. That's how much SFA believes in this program. So fingers crossed, budget holds, we're going to have that to give you. And by the way, I have to prepare a budget over the summer for the next year. I've got money to send to, and I know if we placing third is not gonna be a problem. Because this coming academic year for the undergraduates, we placed 5, the most ever we placed at the undergraduate level. 2 of our other applicants were offered UT system level alternate positions. So if someone from UT or UT San Antonio or Arlington says I can't make it for personal reasons or whatever, one of our students can actually pick up that slot. So I went back to the provost and I said, hey, I may need as many as 7, and their program fee, by the way, is higher because it's 15 course credit hours for that program. You know what the answer was? We're committed to the Archer Fellowship program. We'll make it work. So I'm expecting, I can't guarantee it, but I'm hoping, fingers crossed, we will continue to do this. We do have to provide some institutional support. By the way, you don't have to worry about any of that. Guess who does that all for you? I do. I contact Student Billing Services. I identify you as an Archer Fellow. I register you for the Archer Fellowship classes, and I contact the Provost office and say, put that scholarship on there. And then, because that money has to go to the Archer Center to pay your tuition fees for your faculty and your classes up there, I make sure that money gets transferred, working with Student Business Services and financial aid. We've got this down to the science now, because we've been doing enough. All right. You do have to worry about housing. That's going to be approximately $6,000 if you decide to live in the Archer housing for those 8 to 10 weeks, 8 weeks approximately you're there. By the way, I challenge you to find a decent place to live in Washington, D.C. for 8 weeks that's going to come in even cheaper than this, in a better location. Okay? By the way, if you have federal financial aid, if you have any scholarships, graduate teaching assistants that cover your summer expenses, this will count for it. Living expenses of approximately $5,000 for food, for travel. Most of that can be covered by scholarships and financial aid too. And by the way, the Archer Center itself, thanks to the generosity of the 2,100 plus alumni over 25 years of this program, they have endowments and scholarships, and the UT System Board of Regents chips in money. So most of our graduate Archer Fellows have gone for 0 cost. Because they have money available from the Archer Center itself. Some of that is financial aid based, some of it is merit based. Okay. But I'm not expecting our Archer Fellows from the graduate program to have to pay a whole lot out of pocket. Okay, but if it does, what? Your financial aid will kick in. All right. We have a graduate information system coming up on September 10th. From 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. in Ferguson 179. Ferguson's the next building over. I'm also going to put up a Zoom link for you if you're interested in this program. Put my contact information on. I forgot to put my contact information on. All right. I will get my contact information. You have my contact information. We also have a special a designated Archer Fellowship email address, so write this email address down. archerfellow@sfasu.edu. archerfellow@sfasu.edu. I hope to see you at this session. If you cannot make this session, there will be at least one other session that we will hold specifically for SFA. It is a phenomenal program. Any questions? I know you're at information overload already, correct? Yeah.
I had 2. So how many weeks does this fellowship take place over the summer? I'm in RME for RTC, and we have that summer training.
Yeah, it is an 8-week program, and that's going to be a challenge because that's going to probably overlap. However, I will say, I saved sessions back there. I'm sorry. We have actually. So if you are a veteran, your GI Bill applies to this. So we've learned how to make that work. It's hard, but we make it work. They know it. They know how to do it both, and Stefan now knows how to do that from VRC here. So we can make it work. Okay. Any other questions? I hope you will. I hope number one, you're excited about this. It's amazing. It is life-changing. Let me share you, I know you've got other things, but let me share you a couple of outcomes that we know of from the undergraduate program. I'm gonna back up three of the students back here. These three, they went spring of 2025. The guy on the left is Nathan Lyons. He's a graduate student in National Security Studies. Partly because of his experience with the Archer Fellowship Program, he's being onboarded with a very important agency in the Washington, D.C. area that deals with national security. In the intelligence community, I can't reveal which agency it is. In the middle, Casper Dirks. Casper Dirks is a native of the Netherlands. He worked for Congresswoman Van Doyen, who represents also part of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. She is part of the Dutch American Caucus. Through that, he made contacts with the Dutch embassy because he was in DC at a Dutch national. They are paying his way through one of the most prestigious graduate programs in Europe that deals with international security and transatlantic relations, with the idea that he's going to actually be working with the Dutch Foreign Ministry within about 3 years. On the right, Jada Cartwright. She was a criminal justice major undergraduate here. She didn't leave Washington, D.C. Upon completion of her fellowship, she has a job with an advocacy group that deals with raising awareness about international violence and domestic violence and sexual abuse against women. Undergraduate, this past spring, Barrett Williams didn't leave Washington, D.C. He finished up his internship and got hired on by a think tank called the American Enterprise Institute. We're waiting to see Clayton Kent has to finish up one more class on his national security studies. But we know that that is going to elevate his internship. By the way, Oliver Cook. Let me back up to Oliver here. Oliver, it's right. Oliver. Finished her master's degree here. Got into the PhD program she had a couple of offers. I can't remember where she decided to go. But she's fully funded to go work on her PhD. One of the things that attracted them to her is the fact she's an Archer Fellow and been in DC. So consider it, all right? Come see me and we'll get my information out. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we will have Dr. Kilpatrick from the Center for Teaching and Learning. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. How you doing?
Good.
Are you excited? Yes. Are you ready for Monday? Okay. So I'm here to help you be a little bit more ready for Monday. Okay. So at the Center for Teaching and Learning, we basically can help you out in several ways. So one thing we do is bright space support and training. Another thing we do is teaching and learning support. And another thing we do is language support. So let me ask a question. Who knows what an LMS is? Okay. Who knows what Brightspace is? Okay. Who's like, LMS and Brightspace, are you even speaking English? Okay. So an LMS is a learning management system. It is an online program where your professors will post assignments and you will need to submit them. Typically, okay, way back when I started grad school, we submitted everything on paper. That's not so much the norm. Now you're going to have to submit them through Brightspace. That's the name of our LMS here on our campus. So it's our learning management system. So as a student, we support you because if you don't know how to use Brightspace, we are here to help you figure it out. If you're like, oh my gosh, I have to do a discussion. How do I do that? Where do I even go in Brightspace? You call us and we are there for you. Okay? We are here to help. That's what we do. We also help with the teaching side of Brightspace. So for instance, if you're a TA for a class and the professor you're TAing for says, hey, I need you to post this assignment. You're like, oh, what? We are here to help. okay? We can help you figure out how to be a teacher or a student in Brightspace. If you already know Brightspace, you don't have to worry about it. If you have used a different LMS, like Canvas, anybody familiar with Canvas? Hey, anybody familiar with Blackboard? Anybody familiar with, what's the other, Moodle? Yeah, okay, we use Brightspace. They all do the same thing, but maybe a little bit differently. So even if you're super familiar with how to do things in Canvas, it might look a little bit different in Brightspace. So just let us know if you need help. So our extension is 1919. You can call us from any campus phone, and we are there to help. But how many of you even know where a campus phone is that you can use? A couple of you, okay. You can also just call us on your cell phone, 936-468-1919, or email us at d2l@sfasu.edu. Brightspace and D2L are virtually the same thing. It's confusing to all of us. I've been here 2 years and I'm just now figuring it out, okay? D2L is the company and Brightspace is the product. Your professors might say one or the other, but it's all the same thing, and they're all us, okay? So you can also just come visit us in the library in room 208. We're up on the 2nd floor. Now, here is one thing I will warn you of. We are staff members and we work 8 to 5. So if you have an assignment due at 11:59 p.m., this old lady will be fast asleep and nobody will be answering the helpline, okay? So you need to plan ahead enough that you don't need an immediate answer after 5 p.m. If you email us or call us, or there's even an online lab you can join from 8 to 5, we are there in real time. But after 5 p.m., you'll have to leave a message and we'll respond the next day, okay? So make sure you plan for that. So Brightspace support is one thing we do. The other thing we do is teaching and learning support. Okay, so over the course of the semester, we offer numerous workshops to help people learn how to teach better or to help people learn how to use Brightspace better. How many of you think you might want to teach one day? Okay, we're the people you want to talk to. Generally, we offer at least one workshop every week, often on a Tuesday, a Wednesday, or a Thursday afternoon, occasionally on Fridays. That QR code is our schedule for the fall semester. There's also a link. Sorry, I didn't tiny URL that one, so it's kind of difficult. Use the QR code. That's our schedule. You can join any of our sessions that you're interested in joining. You do have to join through this program called NeoEd Learn. And if you can't get into it, just email me directly and I'll help, okay? So you can attend these sessions. If you're interested in learning to teach, you can pick the ones you want to attend. You don't have to attend them all. We'd love to have you, okay? We're here to help you learn how to teach better. Gosh, what is going on? Okay, we also are happy if you're teaching and you're really thinking, hey, I want to work at SFA or some other school when I graduate, and you're teaching a class and you want somebody to come and observe you and then give you feedback on how to be a better teacher. We also do that, okay? So you can get personalized feedback. And you guys, you might not know from standing here, but I'm an award-winning teacher with over 30 years of teaching experience. I can help you be better, okay? And I love doing one-on-one consultations and observations with people who want to be better teachers. So let me help you, okay? Okay, we also offer an online instructor certification. Anybody want to teach online? Anybody think you might have to teach online one day, whether you want to or not? Yeah, that's it. So this online instructor certification might be really important for you. We offer it almost every semester. However, for grad students, particularly grad students in your first semester of study, you must have your advisor's permission to register for this class. It does not cost you any money. It is completely free, but it is a 10-week course. And if students are struggling in their academic courses, we don't want to add to that. Okay, so your advisor just needs to let us know that they're okay with you adding an extra course on top of your full-time role. Okay. Okay. So if you want to register for OIC or you have questions about it, Laura Osborne runs that class, and her email is osbornel@sfasu.edu. She can add you to the interest list for a future semester, answer any questions you have, or figure out if your advisor has given you permission this semester to take the course. Okay, and then we offer a college teaching essentials certificate. So this certificate is because you can come to all of our sessions over the next 15 years if you want. But at the end, you're just going to have a list of things that you learned or you studied, a list of courses. But this certificate is actually to give you a foundation and essential knowledge for teaching in higher ed. You don't have to spend 5 years doing this certificate. I gave you a tiny URL, tinyurl.com/CTE-fall26, and that is an information flyer on the QR code. The information flyer tells you what I'm about to tell you, okay? So you have 4 requirements. You have to attend an intro session with us where we tell you about the program. We ask you some questions. You ask us some questions. This semester, we're going to hold that information session from 5 to 6 p.m. on Tuesday, September 15th. There will be a Teams link, and it will almost certainly be held on the 2nd floor of the library. Okay, so you'll have either a face-to-face or a virtual option. And then you have to attend 4 workshops, and we outline on the flyer the kinds of workshops. You have to do a professional portfolio, because when you actually go to apply for a teaching job, you're going to have to submit certain things. Any idea what? A CV. Anything else? A teaching statement or a philosophy of teaching statement. And then often you'll also have to submit a syllabus to give an example of a course that you would design. So your portfolio mimics those things that you might have to submit if you were actually applying for a job. We want you to have the very best chance to get a job after you finish. So we will help you. So you have to do the portfolio, and then you have to come consult with us. And we're going to give you feedback on how to make your portfolio better. Does that make sense? This is all free. Nothing is free in 2026 except CTL services. Okay. All right. You can complete this in 1 year. We try to make sure we offer 2 workshops every semester that work toward this certificate, so you can finish by the end of the year. If you have questions about this, you can call me. Sorry, you can email me, cynthia.kilpatrick@sfasu.edu, or you can scan that QR code and tell me you're interested. Telling me you're interested does not tie you in. I'm not going to come hunt you down if you don't come to my workshop. But it says, hey, here's a student who might be interested in earning the College Teaching Essentials Certificate. And we'll send you emails and let you know when we have workshops coming up. And before that intro session, this link will also let you register for that intro session, and we will send you the link and the location information. So College Teaching Essentials. Okay, the last thing I'm going to talk about, and I'll talk about this really briefly. This is not necessarily a CTL thing, but in collaboration with the Office of International Programs, we have arranged a great deal for students who may want to improve their English language skills. Okay, this might not apply to you at all, but if you think, ooh, sometimes when I'm listening to English, I don't necessarily understand everything I should. Or sometimes I don't quite have the vocabulary to express in English what I need to say. You might be able to express it in another language. This program offers additional language support to help grad students improve their English. I just want to point out, if I can, okay, it says, double your speaking fluency in 1 semester. This program, they have done research on it. It is really an amazing program for people who need to improve their English. I've worked with international students using this program in the past, and we see serious results with this program. So if you need this, there's a QR code again. This is not a CTL service, so guess what? It is not free, but it's cheap. Okay, it's like $40 a semester, but if you can double your speaking proficiency for $40, that's the best deal you're ever gonna find on an English class. Okay, questions? Who's gonna come see me this semester? Who's gonna come see me next semester? Next year? Sometime. Okay, we're here if you need us. Feel free to email me or call us at 1919.
Right. Oh, here's also her location.
Oh, sorry, I didn't go to the end of my slide.
All right, we have some current active graduate students that are going to come share their experiences, some tips and tricks, maybe their advice for your career as a graduate student at SFA. First, we have Tiffany, and I will let her introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Tiffany Atkins, and I am a current graduate student in the DSW program here at SFA. And I'm only going to take a few seconds of your time, so I don't want to, I know you guys have been here for a while. So like I said, I'm going to just provide just a couple of tools for building your confidence as a master or doctoral student. 6 ways to build confidence. Keep a log of your wins. Whether you pass the pop quiz or, wow, I read all of the readings, the 12 articles that my professor assigned for me to read this week. Log your wins, all of them. Number 2, ask for targeted feedback. You know, sometimes you hear a good job or your work was nice or it was very well written. Sometimes you want targeted feedback, like how exactly can I improve? What did you notice? Can you give me an example? Number 3, find your peer cohort. Find your group, and sometimes that may be creating that for yourself. Get in with some of your classmates and creating that group for yourself. Number 4, meet your advisor professor often. Schedule meetings. Sometimes I make up stuff. I go find something to meet with my professor about because I need to see this, to hold myself accountable. And so that may be something that you may decide to do as well. Find something to talk to them about, even if it was about the article that they assigned that week. I didn't really like it. Tell me what you think about it. So just meet with them briefly. Number 5, speak up in class. That's a hard one for me. I struggle with that, speaking up, because, you know, we don't want to sound like we don't know anything, or, you know, I feel like sometimes you enter a program and they expect you to know everything. And some things you don't know. Some things you just haven't learned quite yet. And so being able to speak up and say, hey, can you elaborate on that? Or I'm not quite sure, or taking a chance and answering a question, you know. Number 6 is present before it's ready. When you have your presentations completed, present in front of your family. Get your friends together, you know, have a night where you're like, hey guys, I want to come over and hang out. Psych, I got a presentation for you guys. I'm about to present this presentation and tell me what you think. And so being able to, you know, present and practice. I know that's been a struggle for me. As you can tell, I'm a little nervous. So presenting has been one of my struggles. And so I have been really practicing and getting family together. And sometimes I have to say, hey guys, you gotta be quiet. You gotta wait to the end and then give me your feedback, right? Because sometimes family can speak up. But, you know, just practicing and taking your time and being confident within yourself. And so those are just a couple of things I came up with to help you guys build your confidence. Remember, you got this far, you completed your bachelor's degree, you filled out that application for graduate school, and you showed up today. You deserve to be here. You are here for a purpose. And so continue on your journey, and if you need any assistance, feel free to reach out, okay? Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, and our last presenter of the day is our 3MT winner from last year, Miss Callie Lynn. She's going to give you a little background on her research, and then she'll tell you why you need to do the 3MT competition.
All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to graduate school. Like she said, my name is Callie. I'm a master's student in the Department of Biology. Up on the screen here, we have Henson, who's one of the dolphins in my study. This may seem a little scary. I'm not presenting my entire thesis. I promise we'd be here a lot longer than the next 5 minutes. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about 3-minute thesis, what it is, and why you should do it. Okay? So essentially, it's exactly what it sounds. You have 3 minutes to explain a project to an audience who has no clue anything about what you're doing. You can't use jargon. You can't use anything you typically would if you're talking to your peers in your field. You have to make it make sense in 3 minutes. And while it's called 3-minute thesis, it doesn't necessarily have to be a thesis. Just a project, whatever you're working on. You don't have to be a thesis student. You also don't have to have results, which is something a lot of people don't know. It's essentially an elevator pitch. Your study doesn't have to be done. I did this in the 2nd semester of my master's. I was in the middle of doing my proposal, so I didn't have a ton of results yet. I didn't have to. But you get 2 things to help you explain your project in 3 minutes. First, you get a fun title. So my fun title became the Dolphin Cocktail Party Effect. Did you whistle my name? It's a lot more fun. It's a lot more catchy than that whole big title up at the top. But then the second thing you get is you get a single static slide. No animations. This is all one image. You can put whatever you want on it. For me, I kind of crammed a bunch of stuff because it helps me explain things. Some people have a single picture, and that's all they needed. And then you get 180 seconds to go through your slide and explain your project to everyone. Now, I'll never forget my 3MT spiel. I'll probably remember it until I'm in a nursing home. But I'm going to quickly summarize my project for you. So essentially, I'm looking at the effects of man-made noise on dolphin communication. Can they hear with all the noise that we're putting through the ocean? Specifically, one of the ones I test is cruise ship. Anybody ever been on a cruise? I have. You want to know how loud they are? You're going to find out in just a second because I have a fun video for you. But essentially, I do underwater acoustic playbacks. So with these 2 speakers right here, one of them plays a background noise. So either cruise ship or white noise. Anybody sleep with white noise on? I actually play that to dolphins. It does not put them to sleep, surprisingly. And then my other speaker actually plays what's called a signature whistle. This is a dolphin form of a name. Works just like ours. They're the only other species to have a name just like we do. If you're in a really loud room, how do you get somebody's attention? You call their name, right? If you hear your name, catches your attention. That's because it holds special power in your head. That's called the cocktail party effect. If you're at a cocktail party, you hear your name, right? And so essentially that's what I'm testing involving those dolphins. Can they hear their name through noise just like we do? Versus somebody else's name that they know or that they don't know. If you hear the name Bob, you don't know anybody named Bob, you're not going to pick your head up. Okay, right? And so that's what I'm testing. So on my slide here, when I explained my 3-minute thesis, I started with what my questions were. I explained what my methods were. I have an example of 3 different signature whistles. So Haukea, Alala, and Nahele, they're all in my study. You can see that all their whistles look a little bit different. And then I did have a little bit of results to share with everyone, just keeping it very simple, very easy to understand. So if you're not in the field of biology, or even STEM at all, you can understand it. But you don't have to be a STEM major. A lot of people think of something like this, they're like, oh, well, my project doesn't ask a question like this. That's okay. When I went to the competition, so I started off with the College of Sciences and Mathematics competition, which we typically hold a few weeks before the university level. So if you're at the College of Sciences and Mathematics, you actually get a practice round before the university competition. If you win it, you get a scholarship. If you advance to the university level, you get to compete there. If you win there, you go on to the regional level. So I was lucky enough to advance to all 3 levels of the competition. And the reason I'm here to talk with you is when I competed in the STEM competition, there was 12 competitors. When I went to the university level, there was only 5. All 5 of those were from the STEM competition. It was the exact same people who competed in both competitions. We need people outside of STEM. Your research deserves to be shared. Your project deserves to be shared. Participate. Whenever I went to the regional competition, it was not just STEM. There was everybody. I learned about projects in education. Someone was looking at learning and retention in high school algebra students. There was someone looking at obesity in children in rural versus urban areas, looking at proximity to city parks, city playgrounds, to see if that had a role. All kinds of different projects, engineering. There's a lot of things. So you are very much welcome to come and participate in these competitions. I have one fun little thing for you. I told you were going to get to hear some cruise ship. It might be a little loud, so I'm sorry if it is. It was loud last time we did this slide. So you're going to see a playback of a familiar signature whistle through a cruise ship to my dolphin friend Hele. There's the playback, and here's him responding. He's like, hey, I know that guy. That kind of low frequency noise in the background, that was the cruise ship. That's what it sounds like. That's not what it sounds like when you're on the cruise ship, right? It's all going straight to the water. So that's just an example of one of the kinds of man-made noise that we put into the water. So that's exactly what I'm studying. But to wrap it up, why should you participate in 3-minute pieces? Well, what's the goal? You want to take something really complex, you spent years on it, and make it make sense to someone who doesn't know anything about the topic. No pressure, right? You have 180 seconds. Really makes you think about how do you make this make sense to someone? Because your project needs to be communicated to the public. For my project, sure, it's easy for me to communicate it to my field of dolphin scientists. This is a cognition question, but it's also a conservation question. Can I communicate it to legislators who don't understand my field to make it make sense to them so we can put legislation in place to prevent man-made noise in certain areas? I'm not saying we need to stop all cruise ships, but have laws on where they can go, where are the population hotspots that we need to avoid, things like that. And that's how I need to adjust how I advertise my research, but also to the general public. How many of you didn't know how loud a cruise ship was? I'm sharing my research. Now, next time you get on a boat, a jet ski, anything like that, think of how loud it might be under the water. Think of the environment around you and how it might affect. I'm not saying you can't do it, but just, have it in your mind. Think about it. But what's the outcome of 3MT? Well, number one, improve your public speaking skills. Getting up in front of a crowd is scary. My heart rate is really fast right now. I talk in front of people all the time. Never makes it any easier. But the more you do it, the easier it gets. You find what helps you. Take deep breaths before I've been chugging water in the back. That's what I do, okay? But the more you practice this, the better you're going to get at it. I'm a TA as well, so I have to stand in front of all my labs. Get really good at it the more you do it. Share your work with the community, like I just said. Get it out there. Tell the university, tell the community. The judges for 3-minute pieces are random people from the community. We had the Nacogdoches public librarian was a judge for the university level last year, so you never know who it might be. And afterwards, she came up to me and we talked about my research for a little while. If I hadn't participated, she never would have known about it. So share it with people. You deserve to be able to share it. Connect with other graduate students, whether it's at the university level or moving on to the regional level. For me, my regional level was in Baton Rouge. It's not too far, about 3 to 4 hours away. My plan was to hide in my hotel room the entire time. It was my first big conference that I'd gone to, especially without my advisor. And so I was really going to hide away, but I made myself go out and participate in these different sessions. And I was able to meet a lot of different graduate students from schools across the South. You may think of SFA as a big school, a small school. It depends on where you're from. For me, I'm from a town with no red lights. So Nacogdoches is big to me, right? But going to this conference with the University of Alabama, Miami, Florida, these are big name schools. And so it's really cool to be able to talk to those students and see how your program differs from theirs. How is their advisors? How did they get into their PhD program if you're a master's student? I was one of very few master's students there. I did advance to the top 12 as a finalist, and I was the only master's student. So don't feel limited if you're a master's student. You can do it. I've been doing a year of my research before I went, and a lot of these people were in the final semester of their PhD. And then lastly, you can experience academic, professional, and personal growth. I learned so much from participating in these competitions, and now I get to come and talk with you all and tell you about what I learned and why you should do it too. The competition is coming up in November. Obviously, all of you are beginning your first semester, whether it's master's or a PhD. Don't feel limited by that. If you already have your project set up, participate. Even if you don't advance and you try again next year, you already have experience of what you can change because the judges give you feedback. So you learn how you could edit it for next year and try it again. For master students, you only have 2 tries. One your first year, one your second year. And I understand we're all very busy. Last fall, when I participated, I was in the middle of writing my thesis proposal, which is about 50 pages long. I was teaching 3 lab sections of 50 students each, and I was taking 9 hours of credit. So I understand, incredibly busy. But this is something that I think deserves your time. Think of how to make your project make sense to the community. Make it shared, make it shareable. So that's what I have for y'all today. Thank you for listening.
All right, I know we are past time, so I genuinely appreciate you all being here and being active participants. As a reminder, we have a Jack Walker here, who is ready to take you on a tour if you're interested. If you're going on the tour, grab a drink. There are plenty, and it's super hot outside. If you're not, still grab a drink. We have plenty of snacks left. If you take a picture around campus, you go on the tour, tag us. Megan will share it to all of our social media sites. But yeah, thank you so much. We hope you utilize these resources, and we will see you next time.